is vacant. What happens next? When and how will a new pope be elected? And while we're at it, let's take a look at the history of the papacy and how the ceremonies surrounding the death, election, and accession of popes has changed over the centuries. When a pope dies, his passing is confirmed by a doctor and a ceremonial Vatican official who calls out his baptismal name 3 times. Hearing no response, the official will declare the pontiff dead and the papal office vacant. His gold signet ring and seal are broken, and the papal apartment is locked and sealed with a red ribbon. The public and media are informed, and 9 days of mourning begin. After being embalmed, the Pope's body lies in state in St. Peter's Basilica for the public to pay their respects. Funeral and burial will take place 4 to 6 days after the death and be attended by church leaders, royals, and dignitaries from across the world. True to form, Pope Francis chose to eliminate several elements of funerary pageantry in favor of a more simple ceremony. Rather than an elevated catafalque, his body will be displayed in an open wooden coffin, and he will be the first pope in a century not to be interred in the splendor of the Vatican. Instead, he will be laid to rest in Santa Maria Maiora Basilica in Rome. 7 other popes are buried there, the most recent being Clement IX in 1669. Popes haven't always rested in peace. In 897, Pope Stephen VI exhumed his predecessor, Pope Formosus, 7 months after his death, and put his corpse on trial. He claimed Formosus had seized the papacy illegally. The dead pope was declared guilty and his reign nullified. His body was thrown in the Tiber River. 15 to 20 days after the pope's death, cardinals gather in Rome for a meeting called the Conclave. The structure of this secret election of new popes was established by Gregory X in 1274. The procedure has remained largely the same with minor adjustments for the last 750 years. The conclave is run by the Dean of the College of Cardinals. Currently, that is Cardinal Giovanni Battista. Cardinals under the age of 80 are eligible to vote. There are currently 137 eligible cardinals. Technically, they could elect any baptized Catholic male in the world, but they usually pick one of their own. The last time they voted for someone outside of the conclave was in 1378, when Urban VI was elected as part of the fractious era known as the Western Schism. During the enigmatic conclave, the cardinals are sequestered in the Sistine Chapel to cast their secret ballots. A candidate needs a 2/3 supermajority to be elected pope. 1 ballot is cast on the first day, then 4 rounds on each day after, until one candidate achieves a supermajority. During the process, the cardinals are housed in the Vatican and are completely sealed off from outside influence. They have no access to news, computers, telephones, or television. They are supposed to seek the guidance of the Holy Spirit in making their decision. But in reality, there is a lot of politicking. In the Middle Ages, elections were highly contentious, with factions and families vying for power. Conclaves often lasted for weeks. The conclave of 1268 dragged on for nearly 3 years before Gregory X was finally selected. To get the cardinals to hurry up, deans sometimes rationed their food, hoping to starve them to a decision. Today, they go a lot more smoothly. After each round of voting, the ballots are burned in a stove, and smoke exits out of a temporary chimney installed in the roof of the chapel. Black smoke means no decision has been reached. White smoke means a new pope has been elected. This tradition dates back to the early 1800s, when smoke meant no decision, and a lack of smoke meant a successful election. In 1914, black smoke was made by adding damp straw to the ballots, while white smoke was produced by burning the sealing wax on the ballots without straw. By the 1939 conclave, sealing wax was made with animal fat rather than beeswax. It produced a darker color, and the public was confused by the gray smoke. Since 1963, chemicals have been added to augment the smoke's color. And since 2005, the announcement of a successful election has been magnified by the ringing of church bells. Cardinals traditionally wear red to symbolize the blood of the martyrs and their willingness to die for their faith. Through most of history, red dye was produced by crushing the bodies of female crims insects and was costly to produce. In 1244, Pope Innocent IV granted the privilege of wearing crimson hats to cardinals. With the secrecy of the process and no polls or campaigns, it is impossible to guess who the next pope might be. But Vatican watchers have nevertheless speculated on a number of papabili, or cardinals most likely to be elected pope. Favorites are Luis Antonio Tagle of the Philippines, Peter Turkson of Ghana, Peter Erdo of Hungary, Pier Battista Pizzaballa of Italy, and Pietro Parolin of Italy. But we can't know the future until white smoke rises from the Sistine Chapel. So in the meantime,